Yo, what's going on, Soul Tribe? It's your boy Colombian Dread. Welcome back to another episode in the best come from the worst. We're now on season 2, episode 10, and the name of this topic is called Kingdom Talk. So I hope you guys enjoy this. This might sound foreign to some of you, but that's fine. We're here to learn, right? So it's funny because who would have thought that I'll be starting a podcast? I'm 30 episodes in, pretty much. Episode 10, season 2. If you haven't checked out my last season, go ahead and click the link on my bio on the best come from the worst on my IG page. Feel free to share and comment, and all feedbacks are welcome. It's all good. And if you have any questions or any advice you want me to give you or any topics that you want to come up with next Sunday, let me know, and I'll be there to help and provide some information for you guys. So, like I said, we're on season 2, episode 10, and the name of this topic is called Kingdom Talk. I decided to do this topic because nobody's talking about this. I feel like once we grab the wisdom and understanding on how the kingdom works, our life will be a lot better and we can apply it to our everyday lifestyle, everyday habits. You see what I'm saying? So, hope you guys enjoy this. And like I said, we are going to discuss the kingdom, right? This is the foundation of life. Once you understand how the kingdom works, you can now apply it to your life. You can finally understand why things happen the way they do, right? The things we look at as negativity, it could be viewed as positive, right? But you got to quiet your soul and just grab some information. To comprehend the kingdom, you need to gather some information. Then grab the understanding. And finally, the wisdom. You must apply what you now learn. Now, wisdom is definitely needed because we can carry understanding and knowledge but not ever apply it. You see what I'm saying? It's like telling your child don't smoke, but you out here smoking a pack a day. Or giving someone relationships advice, but you can't even stay faithful. So grab the wisdom and understanding first. Now, God's purpose for our creation is to bring the unseen into the seen. In other words, He wants to colonize earth with the kingdom. He wants to influence earth with a kingdom environment. You see, in the kingdom, there's no sickness or there's no poverty. There's no negativity. Everything in it prosper. But we don't believe that. That's the problem. You see, we lost a connection with the source, which is God Himself. And because of that, circumstances blocked us from becoming great. We settle for relationships we don't want to be in. We settle for jobs that we hate for like 10, 20, 30 years. You see, the lifeline between God and man is faith. And we lost it. And like I said, our life is only as strong as our faith. Life without faith gives birth to destruction. See, I learned that the kingdom are parables for a few reasons. Right? It's a style of teaching that tells the story so people can relate to. And it also hides the truth. Just because you hear the information doesn't mean you received it yet. And that was me, because growing up, I would hear all kinds of teachings from the story of Moses to Joseph and more, right? But I wasn't ready to receive it yet. And it's not until I got older and I started analyzing Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Let us make man in our own image and likeness. Well, since God created everything in this life, on earth, everything, why am I worried about life? You see what I'm saying? I never asked to be here, so I must have a purpose. You can't pay a light bill, but somehow you still manage to pay it, right? You can't find a way to pay the rent, somehow it's still paid for. Think about this. This is not a coincidence, right? And the only reason why we're still making it or barely making it is because we're not asking. Asking, it shall be given to you. You see, I learned if God was to give us something we never asked for, then He will have to save us later down the line from the one thing we never asked for. You see what I'm saying? And the reason for that is because He'll be robbing us from our free will. Right? He knows you need your bills paid. Right? He knows you want more out of life. But He needs you to express it so He can give it to you. You see what I'm saying? That's kingdom thinking right there. See, I view life, or I view the kingdom, as one big school. Something I was never taught. They don't teach that. They don't even teach this in the churches. Let me just say that. They don't. But because I'm not known, of course, this probably get like, 10, 12 listeners. But that's not the point. It's still there forever and for life. But this is something they never taught me. Growing up, I would see people giving thanks and praises about the little they had, but never had anything. Now, this is apart from gratitude. But there's more to life than what we currently have. Like, I don't understand like how people are giving praises when they're going through hell at home with their spouse. You see what I'm saying? Or again, staying at a job that you hate. Or better yet, broke. It makes you think. This is why people question God and his motives, but they don't understand it. Everything starts with the subconscious mind. Whatever a man thinketh in his heart, that's the man. In other words, the word heart in Hebrew means subconscious mind. Whatever a man thinks in his subconscious mind, that's who he is. If you don't believe that you're going to be great, you're going to sit here and struggle and suffer for the rest of your life, that's exactly what's going to happen. You see what I'm saying? So, but like I said before, if God is trying to bring the unseen into the seen world, then there must be more to life than just poverty. You see what I'm saying? But the problem is we're not asking. And most of all, we're not putting the work behind it to make it happen. That's another thing. And like I said before, I look at the kingdom as one big school. Now, suppose everything inside that school had everything you ever wanted. One classroom is filled with abundance. The other room is filled with money. Another room filled with good health. Another one filled with discernment. Another one filled with spiritual knowledge. Another room with no poverty. Another room with financial freedom and real estate. Everything you ever wanted is inside the school. But we're too busy praising the school from the outside instead of going in. And the result of that is we die poor, poor in health, poor in pride, dying with our day ones who held you back from your purpose, dying never really discovering who you are. Just existing and holding on to something that God gave you. You see what I'm saying? So me, in my personal life, I had to repent. I had to change my whole thought process to accept this better life. And this is a quote that I never forgot. Your new life will cost you your old one. And that's true. People want change, but they're not willing to let go of the bad habits that's keeping them from prospering. Now, I mean, it's just like a booby trap set for a monkey when his hand gets caught up just for grabbing the banana. Right? All the monkey has to do is let go of that banana and he'll be free. But he couldn't see himself letting go. So guess what? He dies with that ignorance. And that's us today. We have a purpose in this life, all of us. You see what I'm saying? Everybody has a gift. You just have to discover. You got to take the time to isolate yourself and discover that gift. Right? We love partying. We love going out every weekend. We love keeping in company with other people, but we can't even stand our own company. You see what I'm saying? Why you think I'm doing 3 things at once? I'm out here selling watches, doing podcasts, and music. It's because I finally discovered my purpose and my good habits. Right? And your gift goes with you wherever you go. And if you don't know how to find your gift, here's a tip. Find the one thing that you love doing for free and convert it into asset. There you go. See what I'm saying? And like I said, your gift goes with you wherever you go. It's just like a pigeon being trapped in a cage. Right? His ability to fly never left. He's just trapped. But you got to be careful with that. Because a lot of us are physically free, but still mentally chained. It's just like when you open that cage for that pigeon, he goes flying away. And he has the opportunity to find a whole new environment, to find new food, even to find a mate. But because he was being fed in that cage and he was being taken care of, he goes right back to that slavery that once held him. And that's us today. That's a lot of us. We have no knowledge of this. And because of that, we go and we sit and we settle in our bad habits, wanting to change, hoping that the change will come, and we're hoping for a miracle. You see, let me say something about miracles. It's not that I don't believe in it, but when you start realizing how God works, God can't stand miracles himself. You see what I'm saying? Miracles, as I once heard, are for lazy people, because they sit back and they hoping that something happens. They want to see that miracle come about without ever putting the work in. You see, that's tough. But when you have a tremendous work ethic and you seek the kingdom first, everything else will be added on to you after that. And it's in the scriptures as well. And it makes you think, as long as you're doing what you have to do to discover your gift and to live a better life, then the universe will start working its way towards that. And then you start manifesting your dreams and your goals, and you start living a better life. You see what I'm saying? I'll give you one example before I get up out of here. Before getting my CDL license, right, I used to work at this medical job. And I used to my seat used to be right next to this window. And the view that I had was, I used to view from where I was sitting, I could view the whole city. And I see trucks driving up and down. And I remember it was a Saturday morning and the systems were down, and I was just staring out the window and I was like, man, all I want is the freedom. I don't even care about the money at this point. I feel like I'm in bondage, being at a desk, working from 9 to 5. Like that's just not me. Like, I'm too adventurous. I'm just too outgoing, too spontaneous. I can't be sitting here in bondage with this job. So I would look out the window and I would speak life into it. And I'd be like, man, you see, this truck probably just came from California. Or this truck probably came from Florida, Miami, whatever the case may be. And I would sit there and I would just meditate on that. Right? So I ended up getting fired a month later. I got fired and I started studying for my CDL. Now that forced me to study even more, because now I looked at it as, man, if I don't get this CDL, then it's a wrap. I don't know where my life is going to go after this. Fast forward, I got it. 3 years later, this is a true story. 3 years later, I'm on the road driving, and I'm on a highway. As I look to my right side, I could see the job where I once worked at from the driver's seat. I literally switched places. In other words, whenever you want to manifest anything in life, you got to have a belief system. You have to believe it. Once your mind is set that you're going to go for this particular goal and you're going to manifest it, like I said before, the universe started working its way. God started making things happen out of nowhere. Right? It's not that it's a miracle. It's called grace and favor at that point. Not a miracle. So it'll be a miracle if I was just sitting back, never studying for the CDL. But I put the work in for that, and I went through hell, and I got to where I'm at in life. You see what I'm saying? And that took a tremendous work ethic. And now when God see you working towards that goal, he start making things happen. You see, that's the kingdom right there. That's the kingdom talk that I be trying to get everyone to understand. But like I said, they're not ready to receive the message yet. So, I might have a part 2, but this topic is just, it's deep. It's deep. I live for this topic right here when it comes to the kingdom. Nobody's talking about this. I don't hear not one pastor talking about the kingdom. I'm like, yo, you have to talk about this. Why you think you're going through hell in your relationships? You have no understanding about love. You can't comprehend it yet. You see what I'm saying? You basing your love based on experience, right? It shouldn't be like that. Your experience should only be used as reference, not a lifestyle. Now, when you start reading the 4 Gospels and you begin to understand you begin to understand the kingdom, all right, now you're talking. Now you start moving differently at that point. You see what I'm saying? Now, I'm gonna cut it short. I might make a part 2 on this, depending how many engagements I get off of this. So, be sure to share it, like it, comment, give me a feedback. Let me know what you think about this if you have any questions, because life is misunderstood. And like I said before, like the game of life cannot be played without having the knowledge of spiritual law. And we got to have that down pat. You see what I'm saying? So Like I said, follow my page. The best come from the worst. Like and share, and all feedbacks are welcome. And until then, Soul Tribe, mahalo.